All right, y'all, I'm going to end this episode like I always do, showing love and shouting out. And today I want to shout out Hall of Famer Cheryl Miller. I had an opportunity to check out a riveting interview that she did with the Knuckleheads podcast featuring Quentin Richardson and Darius Miles. I've shouted those brothers out before. I'm going to shout them out again. I think they have the best basketball podcast in the game. Okay. Y'all should check that out. All my hoop heads out there, check out the Knuckleheads podcast. It's just like some a show for basketball nerds. Okay. They ask the type of shit that you want to know. They talk about who put the ball in your hand, who was the first person to bust your ass for real on the court. They talk about your AAU days, your high school days. They talk about your recruitment, and they just go down through it for real, and you just see great talks about ball on their podcast. And so seeing Cheryl Miller on there, I've heard about Cheryl Miller my whole life, seems like it, but still didn't know all the details about Cheryl Miller like that. I just when I was growing up, so many people call her the GOAT. You feel me? And I'm born in 1984, and so I don't remember her playing at all. I'm watching her play right now on YouTube. Okay, I'm watching the 1983 NCAA finals with her team USC going up against Louisiana Tech, and on this court I'm watching Cheryl Miller. I'm watching Cynthia Cooper was on the team with a young Cynthia Cooper. You feel me? I'm watching on Louisiana Tech. You got Kim Mulkey, LSU's head coach. She was on Louisiana Tech's team as a point guard. I'm watching Dennis Rodman's sister, Deborah Rodman. Okay, so she was on the scene as a stud before him. Like, it's fascinating. It's fascinating. If you like women's hoop, you know what I'm talking about, check that game out. It's on YouTube. It's a classic. But when I was growing up, you just, especially before there was a WNBA, you just Cheryl Miller, and you hear about her legendary game in high school, scoring 105 points and shit like that. But listening to this interview of hers, getting the detail on it, the background on it with her and her family, particularly Richard Miller, other siblings as well, and her mom and dad, just really listen to her and listen to Q and D talk about how dominant she was in college. Like, I don't know. I didn't know that she was a three straight time Naismith player of the year. So like, imagine what you just saw from Caitlin Clark this past year. Imagine somebody being so nice that they get the goddamn award 3 straight times. She was a All-American 4 straight years, you know what I'm talking about? So as a freshman, came in All-American and just kept that bitch going, won 2 national championships. And like, I always wonder why it didn't seem like you got nothing else. Now, I just assumed it was because, the WNBA didn't exist yet. And I just thought that's why we didn't see her, on that stage. I didn't know she had this catastrophic injury, before she could even like go overseas and hoop and all that kind of stuff. Suffering a knee injury like that today, she might have been able to recover from it, but back then, she's like, it was basically over. You feel me? She talked about going into a deep depression after that too, because up to that point she was Cheryl Miller. Like, that's her whole identity, is being this hooper. Being the girl that scored 105 points, being the girl who, from what I understand, was the first woman to dunk in organized play, being the girl that was 3-time, player of the year and all this kind of shit, 2-time champion and All-American. and then boom, now you can't hoop. Like that shit crazy. But she went into coaching, and now I knew her from broadcasting. Okay, like, but while her brother was still playing, Cheryl Miller was a great sideline reporter and all that kind of shit. You feel me? So she's very integral to the game. So right now, as I'm taping this, we just had game 1 of the WNBA finals. It was a great game. Don't let the score fool you. But that first half shit had my blood pressure high as fuck. Okay. Because New York had John Quayle out there beasting. Stewart was doing her thing. And this goddamn Johannes girl, this French girl, my God, she was shooting that bitch all kind of ways. Off one leg, going left, going right. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay. But we got it together. My guards came to the party for real, for real. Jackie Young did her thing. Okay. Kelsey Plum did her her thing. Chelsea Gray. Chelsea did her motherfucking thing. Point guard. Asia was the best player in the world. Okay, yes, the other girls handled business, but Asia still was a focal point of our defense as she is, and she also contributed mightily offensively. You feel me? So you you had Brun at the game. Tom Brady was at the game because he's a part owner of the Aces. You know what I'm talking about? You had other folks there. The building was live. I'm like, damn, this great woman right here. Like without her, you don't get that. Cause this woman was on the cover of magazines, and she said she was on stage with this celebrity, and she met that celebrity, and like she was the face of women's basketball at one point. Okay. So it was just dope to hear her story, man. And she got so much personality, you feel me? And she's repping for equality in women's sports, man. And we gotta have that. We gotta have that. You feel me? Just equality opportunity. Equality opportunity, bro. Brothers out there, we got to get behind that for real, for real. But the latest shit, y'all got to speak up too and be on that shit for yourselves as well. You know what I'm talking about? Far too often, there's a lot of ladies that don't even be fucking with the women's sport. There's a lot of ladies that will watch the NBA finals but won't watch the WNBA finals. And you be like, what the fuck? Hold on, man. If you like hoops and you a woman, why you ain't watching that? You know what I'm talking about? But Cheryl Miller was the shit. And I think the culture, hoops culture, we got to do a better job of honoring these legends of the game that came in the early part of the WNBA. Like a Cynthia Cooper, who was dominant, like a Cheryl Swoops. It was good to see her at the game today, and people giving her flowers and things like that. But also those who preceded the WNBA, those who didn't get a chance to play in a league like this. You know what I'm talking about? I talked previously about Miss Harris, Lucia Harris, who played at Delta State here in my home state of Mississippi. You know what I'm talking about? She passed away last year in 2022, but they had a dope ass mini doc about her. You know what I'm talking about? There are a lot of legends of the game that preceded the WNBA, like a Cheryl Miller and like a Lucia Harris. You know what I'm talking about? So I think as hoops culture, it'd be dope. Go back and just watch some shit, find some shit out about these pillars of the game, okay? Because the women's game is ascending. Okay, but it doesn't do what it's doing without these folks who paved the way. You feel me? So shout out to Cheryl Miller. Okay. And shout out to all y'all real ones out there. This concludes episode 173 of the realest, most entertaining sports show in the game. Put it on something. I appreciate y'all tremendously for being down with me. Please continue to do so. Please follow me across all social media platforms. You see it down there in the description. And please put all your people on it. All right. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all as always. One.
Please subscribe to my daddy's YouTube channel because the more subscribers he gets, the more attractive he looks to sponsors. The more attractive he looks to sponsors, the more money he can make. And the more money he can make, the more money he can spend on me.